So you summoned for Majin Vegeta. You managed to pull Majin Vegeta with your free 7 tickets, or you just kept summoning until you get him. Maybe you didn't get him. Regardless, you're probably wondering what some of the best teams are with the new LR Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 Goku Angel. This video will be going over some of the best teams that you can possibly run with that unit on the team. Now, I have put together a bunch of different teams for you guys to check out. Some using, well, most of the best teams involve the newer characters. I also threw in a couple of wild card older teams with the no new units rule, because you guys know I like to run no new units for some of the specific challenges. So I'm going to be running through a few of them, but this is all based on my opinion, and I can't possibly account for every possible combination of team builds. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I can in a general sense. And if you have any additional teams specifically that you would like to shout out, feel free to do so in the comments down below. And let's go ahead and begin the discussion. Starting with the best team. Oh, by the way, we are using Dokkan Stats. Shout out Dokkan Stats. We're also using Dokkan Database. Dokkan Database, from what I've seen, is one of the best resources out there in terms of seeing a visual component for what the leader skills are that this unit would be on other teams. Not only do you see you can fit on these teams, but you can see by how much you're getting, how much of the leader skill from Deborah, Vegeta. Maybe down here, you're not necessarily getting the full 220%. You're getting 200, 170, 170. So you get to see all that with Dokkan Stats. And we're also using DokkanInfo.com. I'm going to link all these down below in the description. So now let's go ahead and jump in. Let's start with what is probably the best team in general. Since this is what I consider to be the best team in the game, all we're basically doing is trying to shift some things around to throw the Majin Vegeta in. I don't think Majin Vegeta needs to be on this team for it to be the best. I think you can survive without that unit, but if you were to throw that unit in, honestly, whoever you want to swap out, you can, obviously, other than the Vegeta in terms of leader skill. I'm gonna remove the Spirit Bomb GT just so we can try to optimize the synergy for the Majin Vegeta. So that would give us this guy right here, and this would be our squad. And again, there's no real strategy. It's whatever situation you need, you can swap whatever character to whatever form. Attack mode, defense mode, Royal Blue, UI, Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2, whatever you need to. You can have this guy lead the rotations. You can move this guy into the slot 3. You can have the Super Saiyan 4 Gokus provide extra orb changing. Since this is a fully super class team and company, that means we are not going to be getting any of the benefits of the extreme side because we don't have the means to do that. You can't possibly have both conditions taken care of based on how many units are on your team. There's no such thing to date. So if you are trying to maybe get 7 or more key spheres as Majin Vegeta, but you don't really have the extreme class units to do so, these guys switching to orb changing as their Super Saiyan 4s could help you. So whatever the situation is, you can pretty much take care of it with this squad in whatever form. So that is why this is the best team in the game, or best team that you could possibly run with the Majin Vegeta. And then some alternates, again, it's, you know, based on your own personal preference, but here are some of the best options. Pretty much the same units as before. Oh, you know what? Here, let's I think I had it originally as Spirit Bomb GT instead of the blue Goku. So yeah, let's put Spirit Bomb GT on this team right there and remove the blue Goku. Okay, so now that unit is there, you could swap in blue Goku if you want, or you got Turtle School, whatever. This is your best possible team using the Majin Vegeta. Obviously not as the main lead, but as a piece. But again, you don't need him. Not for this squad anyway. Coming up next, we got some Broly units here because this is actually looking like a pretty solid team. Now that Broly has a full-on 220% team with a very reliable slot 1 defender, you could run slot 1 Majin Vegeta as your defense unit, and then you can have your Brolys start going crazy, especially this guy. Now, obviously, he is a newer character. Some people might not necessarily have the unit, which is why I throw in some alternates. But, you know, in theory, if you do have the character, this is a pretty impressive team. Plus, uncontrollable power, field power bonus right here with the domain gives you extra damage. You can also use this guy initially as a super class character, and then eventually when he switches to an extreme side, well, that will change your requirements as the Goku. Like, for example, if you need super class, you've got 2 super class characters at the beginning, and I think you get one of the bonuses as, yes, with 2 super class on the team. So with this, you will get your defense plus 180 and chance to dodge and damage reduction when receiving an attack without having to pick up 4 or more key spheres. But eventually, when he does switch over to Majin Vegeta, you will lose that and you only have 1 super class unit on the team. I really like physical KFC for all of these team builds, mainly because as a floater, this unit, first of all, doesn't need any team composition to get the full effect of her passive. She has a guaranteed dodge on the first attack that hits her, or that is headed towards her. She also has insane orb changing on the 6th turn, which can be useful for someone like this, depending on your team requirements, because the passive tug of war, if you will, trying to balance between the Majin Vegeta and the Super Saiyan 2 Goku Angel might be a little bit tough, but with a character like this that can once in a while drop that crazy orb changing field, that can really change the game for you. So any of the teams that you're going to see in this video are pretty much going to allow for this unit to run as a friend unit or whatever, or not a friend unit, sorry, as just a floater. So I threw this unit on the team because also uncontrollable power. She's kind of a Broly clone. But yeah, this guy loses some of his tankiness after 3 turns. So by then you could move him off into the slot 3 and move the Majin Vegeta onto the main rotation, thus giving this guy more tanking. Depending on how confident you're feeling, you could maybe put this guy in the slot 1 if you really want. I wouldn't, but if you need to, you could switch this guy over, and then again you can try to make use of the Goku depending on what the field offers you, like with this orb changing. So this is a solid team. I wouldn't consider this as good, nearly as good as the first team. We're now basically going over some of the best teams. That first one I feel like is the best overall. When it comes to other options and alternates, I can't cover everybody, but we've got some of the usuals here. We've got the AGL Majin Vegeta, the Int Majin Vegeta, plus the Gohan. You kind of need a Trunks to fully render out his passive, because you need a Trunks on the rotation or a Majin Buu Saga category enemy. This guy is a very underrated floater. And the reason why this guy is going to be good here is because one of the issues, I don't want to say issues, but like one of the concerns with this Vegeta and Goku unit is that the critical is not as guaranteed as other units are. This guy is only rocking, what, 30% crit as Majin Vegeta. And then when you switch over to the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, you can also only get up to 30% crit. So this unit will give 25% additional critical to pure Saiyans. This unit is a slot 3. This unit is a floater. This unit benefits by having Brolys on the team attacking in the same turn. And since this team is mainly composed of Brolys, you can bring in someone like Super Mario to actually give your Brolys a little bit extra synergy, a little bit extra juice. Where would Paragus be? Yeah, right here. Yeah, link-wise, but we're getting it in the passive, and we're also getting the crit. And then after 6 turns, he gets 20% more dodge. So he... Actually, wait, how much dodge does he have? Oh, yeah, 70% dodge. Yeah, right there, 70%. So, yeah, it's an option. It's a wild card, but I just wanted to give him some props there. A little bit of a shout out. You got Spirit Bomb Z. You got the Tech Vegito. Tech Vegito can exist on the team while still keeping mostly physical or extreme units. You just bring out the Vegito active and then draw all the attacks to him. That won't disrupt your rotations. And then there's many others, but these are some of the best ones. Unfortunately, on the Deborah team, synergy is not the main focal point with this Majin Vegeta throwing in. But what you do get is an extra Corroded Body and Mind, an extra Majin Buu Saga, an extra extreme character to helm the rotations, and to also give Deborah a little bit of a shield. Because now you can have this guy as your defender. And again, since you've got full extreme, you're not going to be worrying so much about what he can, what in terms of orb pickup. You can take it easy on the orbs and you can give it to everybody else. You don't even have to worry about the Goku side. The Goku side, on occasion, if you want to, you could use it, like while stacking as the Vegeta. But what Vegeta's going to do is facilitate with some canceling and also just tanking in the slot 1 and stacking over and over and over every turn. So Deborah will be your main damage dealer. You've also got the EZA, the super EZA for the LR Babidi. That unit can be your slot 1. If you so need to, you could actually swap these guys around when this guy goes into standby, because these two have great synergy. You could even put this guy in slot 1, move this guy into the slot 2, and have him switch over to the Goku if you need to. But there is some flexibility in terms of your rotations. It does not have to be a rigid setup. This is just one of the ways that you can do it, but it's mainly going to be focused around Deborah being the main damage force. And your slot 3 are just all of the Majin Buu Saga supports. Great floating support, guaranteed dodge on the first appearance in the slot 1. So that can also act as a shield for a time if you need to float this guy off, maybe move him as Super Saiyan Goku off the rotation. You could have this guy handle it. And then once the Pui shows up, maybe he gets his crazy passive, and that will allow you to move the Yakon off the rotation. And slowly, this guy kind of works his way through the rotations and then emerges back onto this rotation. And then before you know it, this guy's finished the standby. It's a very nice sort of well-oiled machine in terms of where everyone needs to go, with the slot 2 essentially being secure. Spopovich isn't a must-have on this team. The slot 3s are honestly just whoever you want. So as far as options, alternates, Goma, Terrifying Conqueror, and Successor, fantastic option. You may not necessarily have the character. Golden Frieza will thrive on a full extreme team with the launching of the additional attacks, the target focus, taking some of the heat off of anybody. You have multiple target focus abilities with the Deborah, with the Frieza. That's 3 target focuses to help maybe the standby, or to help maybe let this guy stack a little bit more. You've also got the AGL Majin Vegeta. AGL Majin Vegeta gets stronger with full extreme. With 3 extreme allies on the team, attack plus 150%. You also are able to get this part of the passive because of the LR Majin Vegeta being on the team. Since he also has Goku in the name, he gets a benefit. This guy, Super Baby. So the Super Baby Vegeta now has a better fit in terms of a running mate, and also in the context of corroded body and mind. You could even throw this guy onto the team, since everybody here is corroded body and mind. This guy's main concern when he transforms is that he doesn't have enough cushioning, but he will get that since everybody on the rotation will be corroded body and mind. 30% crit, 30% damage reduction. I am recording this before the banner actually comes out, so I don't know if we have STR Baby as one of the featured characters. But if he's not, maybe just have the character in general and you want to use him. You could throw him in there. I also wanted to throw in this guy because this unit does fit the Deborah leader skill, mission execution, and is it successors? Is Piccolo? Yes, mission execution successors. He can work as a solo act. He's just a slot 2, slot 3 damage dealer. Yeah, he's not gonna have any synergy really, but you know, if you need someone who can offer sort of finisher type moves, this guy can do that for you. And then once again, LR Tech Vegito, a fit on all of these Majin Buu Saga based teams. So there you go, Deborah squad. This is a little bit of a blend, a fusion of both the good guys and the bad guys. And at the center of it is this AGL Majin Vegeta. AGL Majin Vegeta does benefit from both units being on the team. If you've got 3 or more super class, you get a support. If you have 3 or more extreme class, you get attack plus 150. So we are getting both on this team because we got extreme, 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 super, 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 super. So in terms of the passive, this covers this part of the Majin Vegeta passive. Unfortunately, you don't get this one. But then when you switch over to the Goku, you do get 4 superclass. So that basically covers all of the Goku side. Meaning if you are trying to get most of the Vegeta passive, you're going to need 7 key spheres. But having a unit like the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, when he switches into the Goku, that orb changing can help you. And again, Kale and Caulifla, that orb changing wild card in slot 3 on turn 6 can be a very useful asset. Also, this works well in tandem with this guy, because if you get that orb changing field and you want to have this guy in a standby mode, pick up all those orbs to get the guaranteed crit, on turn 5 of this guy's standby finisher, you could give his orb changing on that final turn to this guy as the Majin Vegeta so that he can get all of those extra abilities. And again, he would be in slot 1 in that situation. Like on the final turn of this guy's standby finisher, you would probably have him in slot 3. You would put this, I don't know, this guy slot 2. And now this guy in slot 3, you can give all those orbs to Vegeta, and then whatever's left over, give it to this AGL, and then this guy can use the finisher. So there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of maneuvering involved on this squad, while also kind of blending in the powers of light and dark, which is pretty dope. Also, in terms of options, in terms of alternates, I threw in a bunch of extreme and superclass options. I brought some orb changing with the Hachiyak Goku. He does not fit the full 220% leader skill, but you do have some orb changing initially with the STR. Will that be entirely useful? Maybe not, but when this guy gets hit 7 or more times, you do have some scouting, which can be useful. This guy is meant to be more so in the slot 1, so if you were to bring that unit on the team, you could throw him in the slot 1 occasionally if you need. This guy gives you a stall and a full orb change, kind of a cleanse. If you use his active skill, you'll just create all cookies and wipe the field out. That's a great stall tactic. Broly still fits because uncontrollable power, extreme, pure Saiyan. Nice synergy with the Majin Vegeta, and always a good unit to throw anywhere if you're just trying to get some extra damage. This guy is actually kind of underrated for this particular team because you would have this guy kind of floating around. He does have extra dodge in the slot 2 or 3. I know he's very weak, but the reason why I'm mentioning it is because of his standby. He does have the ability to foresee attacks, and he can line up where his counter, revive counter, would take place. So you can use this more as a strategy just to give yourself some scouting. You don't necessarily have to use his revive counter if you don't want, but you can use that as a way to kind of maneuver around your other units depending on who is on the rotation. So it just kind of focuses again on the flexibility, the multi-tool aspect of this team. So yeah, the powers of light and dark intertwine. Offense, pure carnage, maximum carnage. That is what we are looking at with this particular team. Oops, made one little mistake here. Where is Pan? All right, so here's our team. So it's based around the Daima Super Saiyan 4 as your main offense dealer, but you can combine the Goku with the Daima Super Saiyan 4 for even more synergy and more damage. These two work very well together. We're just completely forgetting about the Majin Vegeta if you're trying to do that. If you don't care about the Majin Vegeta side, you could do this. I am bringing the Hachiyak Goku once again, one of the best units to bring with this guy because of the orb changing. This unit is a very orb hungry unit, so that is a bit of an issue. So if you find that to be too troublesome, you have some nice flexibility with this team because you can move all of the Daima Super Saiyan 4s into the slot 3, giving you something more like this, where you've got the Hachiyak Goku and the Goku together. You've got Pan in the slot 1 anchoring the defense. You can move the Goku into slot 2 giving extra defense, and then these guys can give you that EX super attack to give extra attack rotating around all the different turns. This guy's kind of just a wild card in the middle. He does give some support as well, but this is more of a way to just fixate solely on the super side. In terms of alternates, obviously Goma fits because Daima. You've got all the heavy hitters for the Daima characters. You got the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in here. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta will not be giving the team guard on the Goku, obviously, because he's an extreme unit and he's not Daima. But with that team guard, let's just say you swap out this guy for that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Well, then that guy can... Where the heck? Am I blind? Why is the... With the Vegeta giving that team guard, this now can function as a slot 1 unit, and you can go back to this rotation. You can move this guy into the slot 3. If you want to have the Vegeta around for whatever reason, you get nice synergy with him. I think you get some good synergy with this guy too. And then do these units kind of work? Yeah, they sort of do. So there is some mismatching that you can do there if you so choose. GT heroes will also work great for this. Another thing that I didn't really get to show off on the team builds is this Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now, this is probably going to be more useful in longer events, but with the invincibility turn that you get as giant form, that's great. But this guy will give you extra damage reduction. So part of the issue, like I said at the beginning of the video, is this whole tug of war thing that you're trying to do with the unit. You're trying to get the best of both worlds. You're trying to be able to get all of these passives while also being able to switch and do the same thing with the Goku with all of these passives. That's just not feasible. So if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have enough orbs picked up, or you don't have enough units on the team to meet the criteria, and you are doing it because you want that little bit of extra 10% whatever, be it dodge, or maybe, I think, damage reduction. This guy gives you 18% damage reduction with the 5 orbs, right? This guy will sort of give that to you and kind of make up for it by giving you 10% damage reduction to Power Beyond Super Saiyan and Giant Ape Power, and also give you 70% defense. It's not the same thing, obviously, but it will surely help. So I do think Super Saiyan 3 Goku gets a little bit of an extra boost in value on this team. Not to say that he's fallen off. There's just so many other new characters. But I think that that unit is worth the inclusion. Obviously, Turtle School, slot 3, Kai Fighters. This guy won't get you killed. You got the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta with team defense, as long as you have enough GT heroes on the team. Super Saiyan 4s, scouting, orb changing, stacking, canceling. This unit on a rotation with the Majin Vegeta, where Majin Vegeta cancels, and then the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta cancels. That is a pretty dominant rotation. So a lot of nice substitutes on this team, even more than I've listed here. This is the no new units build for one of the better teams. So we are using the LR Tech Vegito as the lead, and the friend unit is Majin Vegeta. The team is a pretty simple composition. You're basically just running a bunch of units that can switch their positions if they need to. If you're looking for better synergy, you can switch from Goku to Vegeta. So for example, you lead with Vegeta, then you've got the AGL Gogeta on the second slot. If you need to switch over and need to have this guy in defense mode, move him into slot 1, you can move this guy into Goku into slot 2, and now boom, more synergy. But the best part of all is that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 super class, and you've got 1, 2, 3 extreme class. This guy gets the best of both worlds. Broly gets consistent good synergy in the slot 3, where he should probably stay since he loses some of his abilities after 3 turns. You've got some nice orb changing with the KFC. If you want to switch this guy into defense mode, you want to have this guy be a floater and get the most out of this unit while he's still fresh. You can put them together, have this guy float. When he floats, Vegeta and the blue Vegeta link very well together. So there's a lot of different mismatching that you can do. This is basically like the first team in terms of flexibility, but just not nearly as powerful. But this does fit the best team criteria because of the no new units rule. So if you don't have any of the new characters, even the anniversary LRs, this team can work. Some nice alts are the ones that I've shown here. You've got the Super Saiyan 3, you've got Spirit Bomb Z, Spirit Bomb GT. They're not going to be getting the full 220% lead. We have to kind of cut down on the stats there. But since these units are probably going to be floaters, it's not that big a deal. This guy might be a bit of a hit or miss just because you don't have 4 extreme units. Well, I mean, I guess you could. You could swap out like maybe KFC for Golden Frieza. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. for extreme characters, this guy can be a little bit more effective. I always mention this unit kind of like the Kaelin Khalifa, just because he's sort of a wild card. If you need to use him for any random situation where you need a target focus to bail you out, he can be useful. So that is one EX team for no new units. Moving on to the other team that is a no new units team. That is this one right here. So you're going to be running the Int Majin Vegeta as your lead with the LR Physical Majin Vegeta as the friend lead. You can run those two together. Now, the big issue with this guy is that you want to be either facing a Majin Buu Saga category enemy or having a Trunks on the team. The best option for that would be this unit, but the problem is that this unit loses a lot of his bonuses if he doesn't have a full youth team. So we are trying to sort of overwrite this unit's weakness by bringing as many Hybrid Saiyan youth units as possible to give this unit more slot 1 consistency. Turn 1, as the Goten Trunks, you have 77% chance to dodge, plus an additional 10% because this unit is its own youth. And then depending on however many more you bring, you can get a guaranteed dodge. After that, you might want to just switch him back to the Gohan, or if you have enough youth characters, you could run something like this. Would I consider this like actually one of the best teams? Maybe not, but this is more so one of the best teams that you can use to make best of a bad situation. You are completely shafted. You don't have any of the new characters. You have Majin Vegeta, you have Goten Trunks, and you want to try to do something with it. So that's why this is sort of an extra team that I am putting together here. There's a lot of risk reward with this team. It's all dodge and dodge or die sort of thing. In terms of alts, you've got the 10th anniversary LRs. You've got the other Majin Vegeta characters. I threw in this Super Easy Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta just because he is a tank. Your team is already looking pretty flabby in terms of defense outside of these two. So, I mean, what's the worst that could happen if you throw this guy in there with a max dodge build, right? I just threw that in there just to remind you that he exists. And then again, you've got a stall and you've got a revive right here with the Fat Buu. Just a couple ideas to think about. Again, not the greatest team, but we're making the best of a bad situation. And now for a really weird team, which I dare you to try it. All Majin Vegetas. So we are running double physical Majin Vegeta. We got the super tech that turns into extreme tech. Synergy is good on both. You've got the Int Majin Vegeta. He needs a Trunks on the team, so we've got the LR Gohan Trunks. We've got the Babidi. Babidi gets nice synergy when he goes into standby mode, but in general, he's probably just going to be a floater. But there's your team. Will it work? Dare you to try it. Have some fun with it. Now, for alternates, I wanted to show you guys that there are other Trunks characters that you can bring to satisfy the requirement. And I think probably the craziest one of all is this guy. This is the banner unit from the STR Baby Dokkan Festival. He is a Trunks character. Remember, Majin Vegeta just needs to have a Trunks unit on the team. Let me pull up his kit real quick so I can show you. Right there. Activate instant animation when there's an ally whose name includes Trunks on the team at the start of the character's attacking turn. So yes, this clown will work. Also, he works well with corroded body and mind characters. So even if you don't necessarily want to run this team, you could put together a corroded body and mind baby type team, have this guy lead one rotation with the Majin Vegeta, or just have him on the rotation with him for once. So you can trigger that entrance animation and then you're good to go. So here are a bunch of different Trunks characters that could work on this team. This is not optimal. This is just a kind of a gag team. So have fun with it. But there you go. That is our full breakdown on the best teams to run with the physical LR Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 Goku. This unit is going to be very strong, but as far as being on the best team in the game, not necessary. So if you managed to get lucky, or if you didn't, just know that there are still a lot of other teams that can get the job done on a lot of the things that you're trying to do. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Leave in the comments your thoughts on some of my best teams that I brought to the table. Do you agree with some of these teams? Do you have any crazy deep cut teams that you would like to also share with the class? Let me know. Share your team builds in the comments down below. And also let me know if you got lucky on these summons. Also be sure to subscribe for more content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.